Josh James. I was CEO and founder of Omniture and now the CEO and founder of Domo. We had about 80 competitors that were backed by VCs. We ended up putting, 74 of them out of business, and we acquired 3 of them. It was a pretty good run. We went public and got up to about $500 million in sales and 1,700 employees before we sold to Adobe for $1.8 billion. So when I started Omniture, we had some angel investors, and that's how I first got to know Fraser Bullock. And I was trying to get on my board for years. Fraser was by far the most sophisticated investor that I had. Truth is truth and right is right, and he's going to fight for his companies. And that's something that's extremely comforting. And I remember one time where I had probably 14 of my investors calling and saying that they wanted to come down to my office and review all the financials with me and approve all the checks. And so I called Fraser, said, "Fraser, help." And he's like, "Okay, let's go spend a few hours together." So we spent a few hours together, and he was comfortable with our strategy, and he gave us a lot of tips and a lot of pointers and things that we took action on. And then after that, he said, "Just tell him to call me," telling those investors that, hey, this is the right person to back, and this is the right strategy to back, and you guys need to lay off and let him ride the horse. And after a while, he introduced us to Sorenson Capital. And one thing I've always really admired is they have a different perspective, just people that you can trust. They're not so transactionally oriented. There's been many times in my career where I've seen them pounce on an investment opportunity that other people were passing on. And it's because they understand the fundamentals and they understand the people that they're dealing with. And there's been several times where they've invested when other people weren't, and it turned out exceptionally well for them. The questions that I would always get from them are, what do we need to do to be number one? The most important thing to them is, what does it take to win? And that's music to my ears. And so, being able to go to a board meeting and having the investors that are pounding the table asking us to be as aggressive as possible, that's a much better position than to be the guy that's jumping up and down, screaming, saying, "We need to do this." And that's one thing I found with Sorensen. When it came to something that had to do with us winning, with maybe taking an aggressive approach, but making the product right, they get that. And being able to adapt and understand how to be competitive and how to win and when to push and when to maybe be more conservative, I just found their intuition based on all their business experience to be spot on. These guys have seen everything, and I've seen them stand up to everyone. These guys have been associated with the biggest companies in the world. You're getting a world-class team in your corner. Just because they're in Utah, make sure you don't underestimate them.